right, good afternoon, and back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for which should be a good weekend in NASCAR racing. And to lead us off in our media availabilities, we've got a couple of standouts in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. They're going to get prepared for tomorrow night's History 300 NASCAR Nationwide Series race tomorrow afternoon. Saturday afternoon race. And we've got two folks that we thought you'd like to talk to. Our points leader, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he's coming off his third straight win at Iowa last weekend. He drives the number 6 Roush Fenway Racing Ford. And then Travis Pastrana, he's making his 4th Nationwide Series start, his first at Charlotte and the first on an intermediate track. He come in 4th last week, career best in that K&N Pro Series East race out at Iowa. Travis Pastrana driving the number 99 Boost Mobile Toyota. So we thought we'd bring both of these guys in here today and get things started. I'm going to start with you, Ricky. Congratulations on your win at Iowa, and just talk about how that helps you as you get ready to come to Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Thank you. Obviously, setup-wise, it doesn't really do much for us, but if we look at this race last year, we set on the pole, led some laps, and ran 4th. So we think we've made our mile-and-a-half program a little bit better this year. We won on the 2 that we've raced so far. We got a few more things working on our Ford EcoBoost Mustang for this weekend. And I think we should have another good showing. It's always fun coming back to Charlotte. Friends and family are here. Crew guys, friends, and family are here. So always look forward to coming to Charlotte. Love this racetrack. It'd be cool to get a win here.
And Travis, certainly you're learning more and more about these cars. Be your first time really on an intermediate track in this type of race car, but you had a good run last week at Iowa. So talk about your continued development as a NASCAR driver and what you're looking forward to racing here at Charlotte.
Definitely looking forward to this is going to be the fastest course that I've really ran. I mean, Darlington 1 and 2 was pretty quick, but it was definitely a lot more narrow. This track, it seems, at least on TV, seems like it has a lot more lines that you can kind of run fairly quick. I was watching the Truck Series last week and stuff. It seemed like that top line was preferred, which is kind of a little different than most of the tracks been racing. But man, just really excited to be out here. And every time we're in the car, I learn a lot. And even if the results aren't always going forward or we have trouble here and there, it's just learning to talk to the team. Learning, when I say, hey, I'm a 5 tight or a 10 tight, they adjust it right when I'm out there. And knowing what that is very important. So we're getting more and more, prepared for the future.
Okay, we'll take some questions now for Ricky or Travis. We'll start here with Jeff Owens. Raise your hand. State your name, affiliation. We have, I believe it's Laura and Jen with the mics. Go ahead.
Jeff Owens, Sporting News for Travis. Travis, at Richmond, I think it was, you made a couple of comments jokingly about wanting to beat Danica and got to beat the girl. And but I'm wondering, you two are kind of the newest, biggest stars in this series. Is that something you're focused on, is trying to outrun her and so-called beat the girl?
Well, I mean, I probably get about 20 texts from all my friends every time. I haven't, there's been at least one girl that's beat me at every round so far, so definitely I haven't heard the end of it. But for me, the biggest focus right now, everyone's like, oh, you got Meteor, you got I'm like, I just want to learn how to drive these cars competitive. One time I don't want to get lapped by this guy just sitting to my right. That would be, that'd be great. I mean, we finished on lead lap at Darlington, but only because there were so many cautions come out the last couple laps. Like, we're not far off where we want to be, but I'd really like to just get there, get a little quicker, qualify a little bit better. And this last weekend we qualified 10 spots better than we did the first 2 weekends. So. Definitely a goal is always to avoid criticism from my friends, but there's a lot of really good drivers, and Danica, and as much as people give her a hard time or this and that, she's better than I am, so I'm working on it. Yeah, it's been really neat for action sports, and just from kind of a media perspective to follow people like Ricky Carmichael when he came over. I got to really watch his progression up through the K&N series and into the truck stuff, and just see every now and then he'd have a great race, and I call him and be like, okay, why were you battling Kurt Busch this weekend, and the next weekend you're 4 laps down? Like what? I didn't understand it until you get out there racing, and then it's like, oh, okay, and so much more respect for the guys that are on top every weekend to say, okay, they might not have the car that's as good this weekend, but they figured out a way to make it work. And I've got a hammer, and I've been hitting that hammer at every race. And if when it's working well, it's great. But when it's not, I got to figure out how to use some different tools.
We've only had like 3 races, so you got a long time to figure it out.
I'm working on my second tool.
Bob Pockris, you got a question? Then we'll go to Bob and then to Mike.
Bob Pockris, Sporting News. For Travis, he asked you about Danica, but I want to ask you about Lindsay and she being gone. Has she given you reports on how Nitro Circus is going, and can she give you crap from the other part of the world?
She does, and actually that's the Nitro Circus. They announce it actually if I get beat by a girl, and I have every time at their during the Nitro Circus live shows in Australia. So it's they try to humiliate me all over. But no, it's not even like for me. Lindsay's been doing great. She's actually probably a better athlete without me around. She's learned a new trick at every single stop they've been to so far, and she hadn't learned a lot with me. I guess she's always she's an awesome wife. She's super supportive, but given this opportunity to kind of go back, not have to worry about taking care of me has been good for her, and hopefully when I met her, she was world champion, X Games champion, and she hasn't won either since we've been dating or married. So hopefully this will help get her remotivated there.
Let's go front row, Mike, and then back over to David Newton. Go ahead.
Mike Nutt, frontstretch.com. This is for both of you, preferably Travis first and then you, Ricky. Both of you have been through the situation where you run one car and then jump in another car and run it. You with the K&N and Nationwide, you doing Nationwide and then Cup. When you get into that car, do you have to physically remind yourself that you're in a different car, or as soon as you pull out, does the feel of it let you know that you're in the different car and what the limits are for that one?
I think Ricky could probably answer this better, but yeah, okay, me first, yeah, great. For me, any driver that gets in any car, it doesn't matter if it's a 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton or a 850 horsepower NASCAR, you feel real quick coming into the first turn, you know what the balance of the car is and where the grip levels are. This weekend I've got all-wheel drive car. We'll be racing all around the start stretch, which is completely different because you got to be on the gas all the time. With the K&N car, man, you can come in sideways. I don't know, like last weekend it was cool. You can stay on the wall all the way in and pull off real late, get it not sideways, but we were doing pretty well with sliding the car around. And then when Ricky came by to lap me, I was up by the wall and he shot the inside. I'm like, he just drove that thing straight in the corner, and it worked really well. So definitely learning each car has a bit of a different. You can drive them differently, I guess.
Yeah, it's we grew up racing different cars, motorcycles, go-karts. It doesn't matter what it is. When we strap in, we know what we need to do. You know how hard you can run a Cup car in the corner, and you know how hard you can run a Nationwide car. So, you tell yourself, when you get in, hey, I'm in this Cup car. Last year, this weekend, I had the privilege to do both, and I really had to remind myself when I got in the Cup car that I am going to have to, lift getting in turn 1. The Nationwide car, not so much because I had more experience with it, and I knew I was going to hold it wide open through 1 and 2 no matter what. So, those two, I've ran the Nationwide long enough that I know how that is. And, when you jump in something new like Travis is doing, jumping in these Nationwide cars for the first time at some of these racetracks, that's got to be tough for him. I mean, if you think about it, it's like asking him, if you've never played, golf and you went to the Masters and had to play Tiger Woods, who's seen the course, over and over again. You're asking Travis to come in and run up front with guys who've had, tons of laps at these racetracks. It's just tough. So I went through that. Everybody's got to go through it. You just get experience, and you just keep getting better.
David Newton?
Yeah, David Newton, ESPN.com. One for Travis and one for Ricky. Ricky, Darrell Wallace made his debut last week in the Nationwide Series. I don't know if you had a chance to see how he did, or because you were ahead of him most of the time. But Any comment on his finish there and what that means for that sport? And then I'll ask a question to Travis.
As good as our Cargo Beef Mustang was, we didn't see him last week, so obviously he ran pretty strong. I felt like as good as we were, and we didn't lap him, I would say he had a really strong run. I noticed, I've watched him race the K&N East Series, and he runs really well in there, runs up front, wins races, and so I would say he had a great run.
And Travis, you've come from other worlds in sports where diversity is really not much of an issue because it's there and it's accepted. Here, people still ask about that when you get a female driver or a black driver in. What are your thoughts when you see that, and do you see a time when NASCAR maybe kind of reaches that level?
No, I mean, that might be what the media makes it out to be, but as a driver, you're racing as hard as you can to beat whoever's. If there's anyone in front of you, you want to be ahead of them. So there's really, I mean, there's no race, there's no sex, it's just you're trying to beat the car in front of you. So I think the more if other people can get involved, other women, whether ethnic background is, that's awesome, and I hope it's there. But my job is to try to get to the front.
Let's go over here to Woody and then David Caravella.
Woody Kane with MRN. Ricky was just wanting to ask about your standing in the points over to your left. You gained a few more this week without even racing. I know you can't do anything about that, but how comfortable and confident do you feel with where you stand right now, or are you a guy who thinks, man, in one race that could go away?
I feel really confident about where we are as a race team. I think we're 90 points ahead of where we were last year. So you can't ask for much more than that. We've had one really bad race, and that was Daytona. We crashed out and finished 19th. Since then, 6th place has been our worst finish and 3 wins. So I think our race team is performing like we need to. Jack's given us the right pieces that we need to go out and win races and run up front. But like you said, I mean, that can be gone in one race. I mean, we could have a bad race, Elliott could have a good one, or Austin could have a good one, and they're right back in it. So it's a comfortable lead right now, but we still got to go out and make sure we do everything correctly.
Go ahead, David.
David Caravella, NASCAR.com. Travis, I want to think before Richmond, you were talking about how you just didn't want to crash, you just didn't want to embarrass anybody, and you just didn't want all the people coming to see you and everything like that. What's your comfort level in the car now compared to then, and are you as worried about that kind of stuff as you were 3 races ago?
No, I mean, definitely. I think last weekend was tough. Definitely got made a pretty big mistake where I thought it was electrical and it was a fuel line that was down, so this car started back up, and I went past the pit lane again and then caused a yellow, which Ricky was so far out front. He's like, "You kidding me right now? Another yellow right here." So learning along the way. But for me, I mean, I want to do better. I want to learn every time. But if I don't crash anybody out, if I don't crash myself out, if I don't make any really dumb mistakes, anything too much, hopefully more dumb than that, then I'm going to be learning. I'm going to be there till the end. I'm going to get the laps. I'm going to get the experiences on the, doing the pit stops and everything else. So, yeah, my goal is still just don't do anything too dumb and try to learn what you can. Come into next year and maybe races to come this year, we'll set goals that seem a little higher. I mean, obviously, I'm going to drive as hard as I can. Like every other driver on the track, I want to win. Is that realistic? No. But when I line up, I'm going to do the best that I can to go as fast as I can without taking extra chances. So I know that's not like my nature, but I'm just trying to come in here as humble as I can, and I understand that it's not going to happen overnight. So I need to get the track time, and I need to get the experience out there.
Question right here, Pete, and then we'll end right over here on the side. Go ahead, Pete.
Pete Yakabelli, Associated Press. Ricky, you talked about what maybe the team's done a little bit to improve. You talked about the equipment that you guys are getting. What do you think you're doing differently this year that maybe you weren't on last year or other years?
I get this question a lot. I don't think we're doing anything different. I don't think I'm doing anything different. Obviously, they're coming up with different setups and different engine packages and things like that that all ultimately help in the long run. But I'm going out and driving the car as hard as, like Travis said, driving the car as hard as I can every lap, trying to get to the finish and try to get to the finish up front. And, I think everything's just just comes easier with experience. I don't feel like I'm driving any different than when I started in 2009 with a limited nationwide schedule. So, I just drive it hard every week. I'm learning a lot. I've taken everything that I've learned since 2009 and apply it, and I think that's where the difference is I know what I'm looking for in the race car on a practice day when it's sunny and like last weekend I knew we were going to race. Cooler temperatures, cloudy outside. We practice in the heat, in the sun, and I knew what I was looking for in the race car, and we didn't find it till the very last run in practice, but I knew what I was looking for, and I was like, that's it, let's stop right here, and let's go on to Sunday. So, I think just putting everything that I've learned together, driving-wise, I don't think anything's different.
Final question over here to the left.
Kenny Beck, WXII 12, NBC in the Piedmont Triad. This question is for Travis. Travis, on a weekend where all the top nationwide drivers are here, household names, Ricky Elliott, Austin, et cetera, and the same thing for Sprint Cup and Jimmy Johnson, Greg Biffles of the world. As NASCAR tries to reach out to broader fan bases, do you believe that there will be fans who come the next few days to see you and to see Danica? Despite all the other big names that are here, they want to see Travis, they want to see Danica because they know you guys from different events and different sports.
Well, Samsung, KMC, and Boost Mobile are banking on that because we've got a long way to go to get up front. But as far as, everyone's like, oh, are you going to bring in, other people into the sport or this and that? I said, look, maybe, but no one's going to follow me unless I figure out how to win. So that's my goal, and my team and everybody that's, that's backing me are not backing me to say, hey, let's go out there and make a show. They're saying, hey, let's go out there and learn as much as you can. And, we're backing you because we believe that one day, you can be up there battling with Ricky and these guys. And that's where I want to be, and that's where my focus is. So, hopefully it's bringing guys to the sport, but that's not really, I'm here to race, so.
Travis and Ricky, congratulations on success so far, and good luck this weekend at Charlotte.